Hello Cowboys Nation, welcome to another video, and without further ado, let's get to another round of news from America's team. Cowboys Stephen Jones offers Micah Parsons $200 million contract update. The long saga that is the contract situation of Dallas Cowboys pass rushing linebacker Micah Parsons doesn't appear to be any closer to being completed than it was a month ago. With a contract set to make Micah the highest-paid non-quarterback in NFL history, naturally, a deal of that magnitude takes time, but the longer it goes, the more nervous fans sit in their seats. They want a Parsons deal as soon as possible. And Cowboys COO Stephen Jones thinks something will get done, just not right now. "I don't comment on close or far away or any of that," Jones said. "Those things, usually, when the right things come together and everybody's ready to do a deal, then it happens. Certainly, we want Micah here, and he knows we want him here, and I think ultimately, we'll get something done. So it appears that a contract will get done with Micah and the Cowboys, it will just take time." With sources having told CowboysCountry.com that Jerry Jones and Micah have had discussions mentioning a deal for 5 years worth $200 million. But as we saw last offseason with Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, these contract situations can be a distraction, and for a new leader of the locker room in Micah, no doubt, he wants to get his deal done before training camp so he can focus on football. Whether that happens or not is unknown, but going by Stephen's words, there is a positive thought to Parsons' potential extension. So it isn't closer than it was a month ago, but the Cowboys want number 11 to stick around. The best way to do that and eliminate all of these unnecessary headlines is to put pen to paper and sort out Micah's future. Which will happen in due time, just not imminently. Micah Parsons slams report he and the Cowboys have a megadeal in place. After Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys gave both Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb monster deals in recent years, there's no question that Micah Parsons is next up on the list. The former Penn State football standout deserves to be paid like one of the top pass rushers in the game. On Thursday night, speculation arrived stating that Parsons and the Cowboys had a handshake deal in place, with the trustworthy Clarence Hill Jr. providing the update. However, Parsons didn't hesitate in shooting any speculation down, making it clear the two sides are not close to finalizing anything. This sure has a lot of Cowboys fans talking. Micah Parsons responded to rumors he and the Cowboys are close to a deal. "Yup, Parsons indeed made it clear that nothing is done and there's no kind of contract being close to getting across the finish line." If anything, his response to Hill's report makes a lot of people think that he's not too happy with how negotiations have been going. Since making his way to Dallas from Penn State, Parsons has no question been one of the best playmakers in the league, and the stats back that up. Last campaign for Dallas, he posted 12 sacks, which believe it or not were a career low. He had 14 in 2023, 13.5 in 2022, and 13 as a rookie. Parsons has been ferocious off the edge, and he's consistently giving opposing offensive linemen all kinds of issues. He's been a blessing for the Dallas defense, and another monster year is surely on the way for him in 25. With that said, Parsons is getting ready to play this upcoming fall and winter under his 5th-year option, which is not ideal. Jones and the other execs in Arlington simply have to know that they need to make him happy with a huge raise sooner rather than later. The last thing Dallas needs is for Parsons to be unhappy with the new deal talks, as the Cowboys are going to want to avoid a holdout this summer. Cowboys surprisingly predicted to bench starting Playmaker after trade. The Dallas Cowboys trade for George Pickens is set to reset the team's wide receiver depth chart. While the move is good news for Dak Prescott, the addition of Pickens calls into question the future of other wideouts on the roster. USA Today's KD Drummond put together an updated projected depth chart following the Pickens deal. The analyst predicts the Cowboys will have 2 new starting receivers in 2025. CeeDee Lamb will continue to be the focal point of the Cowboys' offense, but it remains to be seen what wideouts will start alongside the star. It is safe to project Pickens to slide into the wide receiver 2 role given all Dallas gave up to land the Playmaker. This puts the wide receiver 3 role up for grabs with Jalen Tolbert facing uncertainty as to his role this season. Tolbert is coming off a breakout campaign in 2025 and earned the Cowboys' wide receiver 2 role alongside Lamb last season. The wideout was able to take advantage of the opportunity created as Brandon Cooks battled injuries throughout 2024. Here's why his future in Dallas could be in doubt. Jalen Tolbert is in danger of losing starting receiver spot to Jonathan Mingo. Drummond projects Jonathan Mingo to start alongside Lamb and Pickens, moving Tolbert back to the bench. Tolbert posted 49 receptions for 610 yards and 7 touchdowns in 17 appearances, including 15 starts. Mingo stands at 6'2", 220 pounds. He's a Z receiver through and will compete with Tolbert to be the third receiver in the majority of 3-wide configurations. This is going to be the primary training camp battle. Cowboys not done on major roster moves amid 2 looming rumors. The Dallas Cowboys have made several moves this offseason, most notably the trade for Pittsburgh Steelers receiver George Pickens. The move to get the fiery Steelers star puts a nice bow on what the Cowboys have managed to do in Brian Schottenheimer's first offseason as an NFL head coach, both in free agency and the draft. But one thing still sticks in our paw here. Dallas, per over the cap, still has $31.8 million in cap space. So does that mean we could expect the franchise to continue to look out for value as training camp approaches? Never done, COO Stephen Jones said. I think I've said it forever, 365 days a year is player acquisition. Certainly, if we see something that improves our football team, we'd make a move. We have seen on social media recently that the thawed running back Nick Chubb is picking up steam. Given Dallas already has Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams, it is hard to envision the front office going after another veteran, despite Chubb being in the eyes of some better than both and still working his way back from his horrific knee injury. Interior defensive line is also another position that we could see the franchise addressing, with Detroit Lions DJ Reader, who is on the last year of his deal, a potential option, but at $11 million APY, that might be too rich for Dallas. It has been a proactive offseason for the Cowboys, and they certainly have the cap space to make another move or two, more cap space with a Micah Parsons extension, and it's clear the book isn't shut on adding more pieces if the right opportunity presents itself.